Hi and welcome to my channel, Crochet by Laura. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this adorable bee, and this is the kit that I have created. If you have bought the kit from me, I have given you everything that you need to be able to create it. Full details about how to purchase the kit are detailed below. In the kit you're going to get your pattern, which details exactly what you need to do from start to finish. You're also going to be given a stitch guide, which will also explain some of the basic stitches that you will need whenever you're doing your work. But this tutorial is going to show you everything that you need to do to start on how to create this bee. So I really hope that you're going to enjoy this tutorial. Please continue to watch and please consider subscribing. The first thing you're going to do is create a magic ring, and if you're not sure how to create a magic ring, I have the video on a magic ring linked below, but I'll go over it quickly here. So you're going to take your yarn and have it in the working tail in your fingers like that. Take the long part of the yarn, the working yarn, bring it over your fingers and across to make an X, and put your finger on where they meet. Take your fingers out. Okay, you can tighten it a wee bit if you want. Take your crochet hook, put it in through the loop, grab that yarn and pull it out slightly, and before you pull it the whole way, tilt it towards you, grab the yarn with your hook and pull it through the loop that you've made. Okay, and that's a chain. Alright. This does not count as a stitch, it's literally there to hold your work together. So now in your kits, if you have purchased it from me, I will have already started this for you. So this bit you won't need to do, but I wanted to include in this video just in case you either have to rip it out, or if you haven't bought the kit and you literally just want to make the bee. So you've got your chain one, as I said, which does not count. So now we're going to do 6 double crochets in the magic ring. Now I am using UK terms, so all of my stitches will be referred to as double crochet for the bee. The wings use different stitches, but for the bee it's mainly going to be double crochets. In America and using US terms, this is known as a single crochet, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so you're going to take your hook, you come put it in through the ring. Okay, remembering that you've got the 2 parts to the ring, so put it in through the ring, grab the yarn and pull it up. So you've got 2 loops on your hook. That's why it's called a double crochet. Put your hook underneath the yarn and bring it through both of those loops. So now you've done 1 double crochet. Take your stitch marker and mark underneath those 2 loops to mark your first stitch, and this will really help you when you come round because you will know where to stop. Now what I want you to do is 5 more double crochets in the ring, so we're going to do these together. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to take your hook, put it into the loop, grab the yarn and bring it up. So you've got 2 loops on your hook. Put the yarn over, pull it through, that's your second double crochet. Do that again. Put your hook underneath the ring, grab the yarn and pull it up. You've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull it through. So you've got 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do that 3 more times. So in, grab your yarn, you've got 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both loops. For number 5, grab your yarn and pull it up, 2 loops, pull it through both loops. And the last one, in, grab your yarn, pull it up, pull it through the last 2. So now you have 6. So to tighten your magic ring, okay, you don't want to pull it the whole way tight because we still need to work into these stitches, but to tighten it you're going to hold it and you're going to pull the tail very, very gently. Okay, so you get it to go down. So now you should be able to see that I've got 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the 6th one is in the loop. Okay, right, now we're going to connect this to this, but we're not going to slip stitch, we're going to literally join the first stitch into this one here and go on with round number 2. So if you've got my kit, you'll have done 3 more stitches. This is where you're going to be going from now. So take your stitch marker out, because it's too hard to try and get it in, trying to get the hook in whenever it's there. So you have it out, put it underneath both of those loops. Okay, so technically you've now got 3 loops in your hook. Okay, grab your yarn, pull it through the first 2 loops. So now we've got 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull it through those 2 loops. So that's the first double crochet of the second round. Now in the second round, you're going to do what's called a double crochet increase. And all an increase means is 2 stitches in one. Okay. Go out a wee bit. So we're going to do a second stitch in there. So if you look at where your stitch is coming out, you're looking for this bit, and you're going just slightly to the side of it. So put your hook in. You shouldn't feel any resistance because you're basically going through the hole. Put your hook in, grab the yarn and pull it out. You've got 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull it through 2. So now we've got 2. We have 2 stitches in 1 stitch, and that's called an increase. Now you're going to look for your next stitch, and if you turn it over, you should be able to see 2 loops or 2 lines. That's where your next stitch is going. So put your hook in, grab your yarn and pull it up. You've got 2 loops, yarn over and pull it through again. I'm going to do one more with you. Put your hook in, grab your yarn and pull it out. Got 2 loops and pull it over. So now you've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to continue and do 2 double crochets in this one, this one, this one and this one. So you're going to do 8 more double crochets in total, and that will take you round to your stitch marker, and I'm going to show you what you do when you get there. So I have just done the 11th crochet, 11th double crochet of the round. So now I'm going to do the 12th one. So into the hole again, bring it out, so you've got 2 loops, yarn over and pull it through. So now we've got 12, and it's always a good idea with amigurumi to check your stitch count, as if your stitch count is out, your project will either be too small or too big, or you will start to get all wavy and not look nice. So always check your stitch count. If you need to, give your magic ring another wee tug, so it's completely closing up the ring in the middle. Okay. So now we're going to go on to round 3, and round 3 says double crochet and then increase, and you're going to repeat this 6 times. So all that means is that you're going to do a double crochet in the first stitch as usual. So take your stitch marker out, put your hook in, bring up a loop, so you've got 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Stitch marker back in and mark that stitch. So that's the first stitch. You're not going to do an increase in this one, you're going to go to the next one. So you're going to put your hook in, going to grab your yarn and pull it up. You've got 2 loops, pull it over to do your double crochet. Do that again because that's your increase, and you've got 3 stitches all together. So the next one you're going to do 1 double crochet. Next one you're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1, 2. And I do explain this in the instructions, but your pattern has got brackets and commas in it. The commas will split up the instructions, so anything that you say after a comma usually means that you're doing something different. Okay, so we've got 1 double crochet, we've got an increase which is 2, we've got 1, we've got an increase which is 2. Okay, so next one we're going to do is 1, then we're going to do our increase. So 1, 2. Okay, and you're just going to keep repeating that. You're just going to go 1 and then 2, 1, 2. So you'll start to see that in this case we're counting to 3 each time. So we're going 1 and then our increase, 2, 3. And that's the rhythm that sort of helps you keep track of what you're doing. Okay, so next one you're going to go. So if you're not sure where you're going, always look for your loops. Okay, so my loops are here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And in this round you want to end up with your last set of stitches being your increase. If it isn't an increase, then you have missed it somewhere, so go back and check. And you'll start to see as you do your increases that it's taken on like a hexagon shape. For beginners, that's perfectly normal, and that's the way the majority of patterns are written. As you get more advanced, there are ways to correct this and make it more circular, but at the minute it will make no difference to your finished project. Okay, so that was round 3, and at the end of that round we have 18 stitches. So go back and count if you're not sure. Right, round 4 then we're going to do 2 double crochets and an increase. So again we're going to do 1 double crochet in that first stitch and we're going to mark it. It's always a good idea to mark your stitches because you know then where you've started, so you know when you get back there that you know you have finished. I've been crocheting for many years and I still lose count, so it's always good to put your stitch marker in. Okay, so as I said, you're going to do 2 double crochets and then you're going to do an increase. So we've got 1, okay, and again if you're not sure, look at where your loops are. So your loops are here. So we've got 1, 2, then our increase, 1, 2. So now in this case we're now counting to 4 each time. Okay, so next one we're going to do 1, 2, increase, 3, 4. Okay, so the last one I'm going to do with you, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to keep going, doing 1 double crochet in 1 stitch, another one in the second stitch, and then an increase, and keep going the whole way around till you get to your stitch marker. In this round you should have 24 double crochets. So I have just finished round 4 and I've got 24 stitches in the round. Now a question that I get asked quite a lot is, how do I know which is the front and the back? And that's a legitimate question. So if you have a wee look, if you turn your work over, you will see that this tail of your magic ring is at the back. Okay, this is the inside. Okay, so if you keep your tail like this, you will always know it's the inside. As you can see, your work is starting to curl slightly, so all you need to do is put your fingers in and just encourage it to do that. Okay, because we're going to keep going and our bee is going to get slightly wider and then slightly bigger. Okay, so always remember that this part, the noodle some people call it, is going to stay inside like that. Okay, you'll also see as well there's a slight difference in the stitches, so you can start to see stitches there, whereas if I turn it over you can see it looks slightly different. It's hard to show in the chenille yarn the difference, but if you're using acrylic or even cotton you would definitely start to see the difference. Okay, so that's the end of round 4, and as I said you should have 24 stitches. So round 5 is an increased round as well, so this time you're going to do 3 double crochets. Okay, so you're going to do 1, you're going to mark it, you're going to do 2 more, it's your second one, it's your third one, so it's your 3 double crochets. And as I said, always look, if you look this way you start to see the lines. Okay, so you've got your front loop and you've got your back loop. So front is facing you, back is furthest away. So we've done 1, 2, 3, now we're going to do an increase. So 1, 2. So in this round, this time you're counting to 5, if that helps you. Okay, so you're going to keep doing that for me. You're going to do 3 double crochets increase, 3 double crochets increase, and go the whole way around to your stitch marker. And this round you're going to have 30 stitches altogether. Round 6, you've got 4 double crochets and an increase. So you're going to do 1, mark, and then you're going to do 4. And you'll see as well that every time each part of the pattern for the actual bit that you repeat is the same number of stitches. You're going to do it the same number of times as you have stitches at the start. Okay, so in other words, we're going to do 4 double crochets and an increase, and we're going to do that 6 times. We started off with 6 stitches at the start, so that's how one of the ways that you know you're going to keep going. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then you're going to do your increase. 1, 2. Okay, I'll do that one more time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 1, 2. So you're going to keep doing that. You're going to do 4 double crochets, increase, 4 double crochets, increase, and you're going to go the whole way right round to your stitch marker, and this round you're going to have 36 stitches. This is the last round that we're going to do increases in. So I have just finished round 6 and I have 36 crochets, 36 double crochets all around my edge. And again, just take the time to check. Right, for rounds 7, 8, 9 and 10, so 4 rounds in total, you're not going to be increasing anymore. You're going to work 36 double crochets around the edge. Okay, so each round you're going to do 36 double crochets and you're going to repeat that a total of 4 times. And what I find is useful to actually mark down the number of rounds that I have done so that I don't actually lose count. So I'm going to start this off and then I'm going to get you to do this one. So you're going to do your first double crochet of the round and you're going to put your stitch marker in. You're going to do 35 more double crochets. Let's get some more yarn. Okay, so it's your first one, second one, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and so on, and then keep going. So as I said, for rows 7, 8, 9 and 10, 4 in total, no more increasing, you're going to just keep working. And you'll start to see that your work will gradually take on more of like a bucket shape and it will start to resemble the bee. Okay, it'll also then start to even out your hexagon shape and make it more circular. Okay, so just keep going the whole way right round, working 1 double crochet in each stitch, and do not worry if your hook comes out like that. Put it back in and just keep going. Your stitch marker is there to help you in case you get lost. Okay, you start to see your work doing this again, it's normal. Your work is going to start doing that the longer you go. Now that we are no longer increasing, we're no longer going out, so we will start to see it growing in length. So we'll start to see it coming down this way. Okay, so as I said, 4 rounds, 36 double crochets in each round. Whenever you get to the last stitch of row 10, you're going to be changing to white because we're going to start to do the white stripes for the bee. I will come back and show you how to do that. So 4 rounds, all double crochets. So pause the video and go and do that. I am in round 8 of my bee, but I wanted to show you, just in case you do actually lose track, how you can see where you're at. Okay, so each of these rings represents a round. Okay, so you should be able to see it. You can count. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have just finished my 9th round. So if you do get lost, you can actually do that. So each of these will be a round. So you know that I am on my 9th round. I have literally just finished 9th. I have 1 more to go. So I'm just coming up to the end of row 10. I'm going to show you how to connect the white. Okay, so as I said, you start to see it's looking more like a cone. Okay, but as I said, whenever you flatten it out and whenever you stuff it, you will be able to see it in flat. Okay, so trust the process. Okay, so we have 1 more, and then in the next one we're going to change to white. So you're going to start the stitch as normal. Okay, so put your hook in, through and grab, and you've got 2 loops on your hook. Okay, grab your white and take the tail of the white. Okay, put it over your crochet hook and just give yourself a little bit of room at the bottom. Put it over the crochet hook. Okay, I like to just tuck it in at the back, so then I know it's in at the back and I know it's secure. Okay, so taking your new colour, okay, what you're going to do is just drag it through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay, so we'll do that again. You've got your 2 purple colours or your pink colours on your hook. Okay, you've got your white here with the tail. So just loop it over the hook, drag it through, so you can just see the white at the top. Okay, right, Now, whenever you go to do this, make sure you're holding on to the long tail of the white, okay, not the short tail, okay, so the working yarn in your left hand, okay. Put it through the first double crochet, grab your white, bring it up, you've got 2 loops, you've got 2 white loops, bring it through, and that's finishing off that. That is your first stitch, okay. Now when you go to do this, make sure you go through both of those loops at the back and mark your stitch. Now what you can do is give your white a wee tug and the purple a wee tug or the pink a wee tug just to keep it tight. I don't cut the yarn just yet, I keep going for a little bit, okay. Right, rounds 11 to 13 you're going to do continue on with the white, okay. Now we're going to do the safety eyes in a wee minute, but we're going to do a wee bit of the white. So you're just going to keep going just to get the white started, okay. So you've got 3, 4, 5, and this round you're only still doing 36 double crochets. We're going to be doing that for a while until we start to decrease, okay. So just keep going with the white for a bit. Whenever you've got enough that you think it's secure enough, you can stop. We're going to do the eyes, okay. So you can see I've got the white. Right, pull your loop, work out like that, so you've got a long tail. You can also put one of the extra stitch markers in there if you want, but that should be as sufficient at the minute. Go back to your where you were tying in the new yarn, okay. Take your white and the main colour and tie a knot. Tie a knot again. So you've got a really tight knot in there, and then cut off your purple or your main colour. Don't cut it off too close, just so that it doesn't unravel on you, but that's not going to be seen because it's inside the work, okay. The other thing at this stage you can do too is make sure your magic ring is tight. Now do not pull it too hard, just give it a wee tug, and you can put a knot in there as well. Again, not too pulling too hard, just put a knot, okay. Feed everything back in. Now we're going to put the safety eyes in, okay. Now you want to make sure that the bottom of it, of your bee, with your colour change is away from your eyes, okay. So if you look at it this way, you want to have your eyes about here. So count down 5 rows and put your safety eyes in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, okay. And then do the same with the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, okay. And just have a good look and just check that you're happy with them, okay. Now as you're working in a spiral, you might find that sometimes it mightn't exactly line up, but you should be able to see that they're in the same row like that, okay. As I said, with the spiral sometimes it's harder to see, but you've got your eyes in like that, okay. Now if you're happy with your eyes and you've given that a wee tug to make sure that that's right in the middle, if you're happy with your eyes and that you're definitely sure that that's at the back, you can go and put on your backs, okay. Now as a chenille yarn, what I have done is I've given you a wee bit of ribbon. If you didn't have ribbon, you could use a wee bit of felt as well, and this is just to give the back a little bit more security. If you're giving this to a child that's under the age of 3, it is not recommended that you use safety eyes. In that case, I would just embroider the eyes on, okay. So you need to make sure that you think about what you're doing with it, okay. So just put the ribbon on the back like that on both ends, okay, because it's going to give a wee bit more security at the back. Then you're going to get the white fasteners at the back of it, okay. Now you're making sure that the fat loop of it is sitting up. Put it over the top, get your fingers and really push it on there, okay. This bit is very fiddly. Now you'll start to see it going down through the notches and you'll see that there's a gap. You want to do it at least, there's 1, again push, until you'll hear it going the whole way down, and you'll see that your eye is in. That is not coming out. Okay, repeat for the other eye. So I've got both of my safety eyes in. Cut off the tails if you want, but it's going to be hidden in your work, so it's not really going to matter. Now you're going to put on your smile. Okay, so grab the black cotton in your kit. I like using cotton rather than yarn. It's not as thick as DK yarn, and there's no give to it. Okay, so you know that it's not going to go anywhere. So thread up, thread your darning needle, okay, and just leave yourself a good tail at the end. All right. So what you're aiming to do is just basically put a smile on your bee. So take your yarn in through the side and out roughly where you want the smile to start. Okay, so maybe if you wanted to start about there. Okay, pull it through, and again leave yourself enough of a tail. Put the yarn back through where you want it to finish. It's always better to sort of overestimate it than not. Okay, so no, I'm going to go for that one. So bring it out. So you've got your smile. Okay, and if you're happy with that, take your hook underneath. Okay, pull it out a wee bit. Put your hook underneath the smile and drag it down. Take it back underneath where you've just come out. And you see you give your bee a smile. You can make it smaller or bigger depending on your own preference. If you're happy with that, at the back, which is a big mess at the minute, grab your two ends of your black cotton and tie a knot in that. So it's one and double knot. Now don't pull it too tight because your smile will go in a wee bit. If it does, just use your needle just to wiggle it a wee bit, just to bring it out. Okay, not so much that it comes out, but just a wee bit, so it's the smile. Okay, you've tied it to it at the back, cut off and leave a wee bit of tail. So there's your smile, and as I said, you can fix that till you're happy with it. Okay, and again making sure the smile is at the bottom, so that it'll be hidden whenever you do that. Okay, so that's your eyes done and your safety mouth. Your safety eyes done and your mouth done. So you're going to continue then on with rounds 11 to 13, and you're going to use your white yarn. So you're going to do 11, 12, 13, 3 rounds, 36 double crochets in each round. So just to show you, I've just finished round 11, which is the first round of the white, and you have 36 double crochets, and you're back at your stitch marker. Okay, so take your stitch marker out, grab your yarn, okay, and then this is your first stitch, so work into your first stitch, yarn over and pull through 2. Put your hook back in and continue. Okay, you will, because we're working in continuous rounds, you will start to notice that there's a wee bit of a step up. Okay, but it isn't going to be that obvious, especially in the colours in this. So as long as you have your face in the right place, it isn't really going to matter. Okay, so just keep going. I'm just finishing round 13, and I'm just about to change back to the lilac again. Okay, so hook in again, yarn up, pull the yarn through so you have 2 loops. Take your purple, loop it over your hook, pull it through. Okay, stitch marker out, because remember that's doing your first stitch. Grab your long working yarn, in through the first stitch, grab a purple loop, pull it through the 2 stitches. Okay, mark that, make sure you go through both of them. Okay, and then do a few stitches. So 2, 3, 4. Okay. Go back, pull gently on the white to tighten it, wee bit tug on the purple, and tie in a double knot. So 1, 2. You can carry, if you really want to, your white yarn up through your bee, but I always find that it's harder to stuff it at the end, so I actually just cut and tie them in the middle, and you're never going to see that in the middle. Okay, that's all going to be hidden. Alright, it is, as I said, perfectly normal to see it doing this. You're not really going to make much of a difference because you're working in a spiral. Everything's moving one stitch to the right each time. Don't worry about that. Okay, so you're going to keep going. So that is round 14. You're going to do 14, 15, 16 in the purple. You're going to change to white like I showed you for round round 11. You're going to change to white and do 17, 18 and 19. Change back to your main colour and do 20, 21 and 22. When you get to that, you will have 2 white stripes. That's the last time you're going to be working in the long bit. It's long enough at that point, you're going to start decreasing. Okay, so I'm going to leave you. I'm going to let you do the next 3 rounds of purple, rounds of white, and the 3 rounds of purple, and I will meet you back at start of round 23. If you're not sure about how to change any of the colours, if you rewind the video and have another watch about how I join the colours. I have just finished row 22 and I still have 36 double crochets. So by this point you will have had the main colours here, 2 white stripes, and then the last of the 36 double crochets here. Now we're going to start to decrease, which is going to make your bee smaller and is going to do the end of the bee. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the decrease. So round 23 says work 4 double crochets and then an invisible decrease. Now an invisible decrease is used in amigurumi to reduce the amount of holes in your work. You can do a normal decrease if you want, but you will find that as you go there will be more gaps. An invisible decrease is going to reduce those, and it's not that hard to do if you do it from the start. You're going to work 4 double crochet and then an invisible decrease. So I've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Earlier when we were doing your increases, we started off with 1 double crochet increase, 2 double crochets increase, 3 double crochets increase and 4 double crochets increase. Now we're going to do the same, but we're going to do it in reverse. Now an increase is 2 stitches in one, whereas a decrease is worked over 2 stitches and you're reducing each stitch by 1. So I'm going to show you how to do an invisible decrease now. So earlier when I talked about your loops, I said we have the front loop and the back loop. The front loop is always the one that's facing you and the back loop is facing away. For an invisible decrease you're only going to work in the front loops only, so only the ones that's facing you. So put your hook under that first loop. Now this can be a little bit fiddly, so take your time to do that. Under the first loop and then straight underneath the loop of the second one. Okay, so you've got 2 loops here and then this is the loop of the stitch that you're working with. Okay, so now you're going to decrease. Yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, so you end up with 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the next one. Okay, so now we have 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, and we've reduced by 1. So we're going to do that again. We're going to do 4 double crochets, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now you're going to do your decrease. So go under the front loop, under the front loop of the next stitch, and as I said this can be fiddly, so just take your time, use your nail to help you and pull it down. Okay, so you've got your 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops and yarn over and pull through. Now we're going to continue that round the rest of the round. So we're going to do 4 double crochets, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, do your decrease. So under the first loop, under the second first loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through that one. So you're going to continue this and work all the way around till you get to here, coming up to the end of the round, and the last one should be a decrease. So I've got the loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last one. Okay, and you'll start to notice that it's getting slightly smaller as you go. Okay, right, round 24, you're going to work 3 double crochets and then an invisible decrease, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. I'm going to start it with you. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, invisible decrease, front loops only, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last one. Okay, I'll do one more go. So 1, 2 and 3 through the front loop and through the next front loop. Okay, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 1. Okay, so you're going to keep going to get to the end. So I have just finished the end of row 24 and I have 24 stitches at the end. Now you're going to start to stuff your bee before it gets too much smaller. Okay, so take the toy stuffing that you have and just break it up into wee lumps, just so that you don't want to have it too clumpy whenever it's inside your bee. Okay, and just stuff your bee. This will help really even out the shape, the front of it, so that it no longer has the cone shape. Okay, so you want to put your stuffing in. Now how firmly you stuff it is up to you. You don't want it to be so firmly stuffed that it isn't squishable, because that's the whole point of using the chenille yarn. But at the same time, you don't want it to be so soft either that it doesn't hold its shape. Okay, so you put in what you think is sufficient and use your fingers to push it in. Okay, and as you see, your bee starts to take on a nice rounded shape. Okay, don't stuff it up too high either whenever you're still working, as it gets caught in with your hook and it makes it too hard to do your stitches. But put in enough so that you can start to see the shape. Okay, right, now we're going to continue on with round 25, and in this round we're going to work 2 double crochets and a decrease, invisible decrease. We're going to repeat this the whole way around, and whenever we've finished we'll have 18 stitches. Okay, so I've already done the first stitch, so now we're going to do the second one. Okay, so just normal double crochet, just normal double crochet. Okay, invisible decrease, so under the front loop, under the next front loop. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through that one. Now if you are struggling with an invisible decrease, you can do a normal decrease if you want. Just bear it in mind, it might be a little bit more holes than a invisible, and I'm going to show you that, so that's an option for you. Okay, so you're going to work 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets and then a decrease. So with a normal decrease, you put your hook under the first stitch, grab your yarn and pull it out. You've got 2 loops, put it under the next stitch, grab your yarn and bring it up, and you've got 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, and then just tighten it, and you'll see that that creates a decrease. It does create a wee bit of a lump, and I don't like it, especially with amigurumi, as you will notice it whenever you are working. An invisible decrease works better, so take your time and you will get it. Okay, so underneath the front loop, underneath the second front loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, do it again, so 1, 2, and the reason you decrease like this is so that it's gradual and you get the nice curved shape. So it's basically, as I said, reversing what you've done at the start, and we're going backwards and we're doing it gradually so that the bee just doesn't end up with a flat like that. Okay, so that is 2, and if you're not sure, if you're just like me and you're like, I'm not sure whether I've decreased or not, if you actually check at the back of it, you will be able to feel where the stitches are missing. Okay, so I can see that there's my decrease, I can see there's my decrease there, and you can actually feel can feel the difference with your fingers. If you're using acrylic or cotton, either DK, iron weight, chunky weight, whichever you're using, you will actually be able to see the loop at the back. In chenille you can't, so you can just feel it with your fingers. Okay, so I've done 2. I'm going to do my invisible decrease underneath your loops, pull through 2. Okay, 1, 2, and invisible decrease. So 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, invisible decrease under the front loop, the next front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, 1, 2, and this is another way of checking you're actually right. When you get to the end, the last repeat should have 4 stitches. You're using 4 stitches. So I've done my 2 double crochets, I have 2 stitches left, so I know that I'm right. So invisible decrease there. Okay, again underneath, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that is the end of row 25, and you will have 18 stitches, and you can see the hole is starting to get a good bit smaller. Add in a wee bit more stuffing. Push it down so in there. It will hold a lot more than you actually think it will. So just keep going. Okay. Okay, now we're going to do round 26. So this is work 1 double crochet and then invisible decrease. So 1 double crochet and 1 double crochet, mark that stitch, and then your invisible decrease. So under the front loop, the next front loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, double crochet, invisible decrease. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, double crochet, invisible decrease. So under the front loop, next front loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Double crochet, 1, and invisible decrease, 1, 2. Okay, double crochet, invisible decrease, 1, 2. Okay, and we have 3 stitches left. So 1, 1, 2, 3. So double crochet, invisible decrease under the front loop, under the next front loop, over, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so by the end of that round you're going to have 12 stitches. Okay, add a wee bit more stuffing. You will feel it's getting harder to get your stuffing in, but if you do it gradually, it'll be a lot easier to put your stuffing in. You can also then judge how much you need as you're going. Okay, so just keep going. Okay, I'm pushing the stuffing in with my fingers, and I'm just moving it around as well. Okay. So I've just finished round 26. I have stuffed the bow a little bit more, and I have 12 stitches now. Right, now you're going to do an invisible decrease the whole way around, and you're going to end up with 6 stitches at the end. Now this can be fiddly, so take your time. Okay, so underneath the front loop of the first stitch, underneath the front loop of the next stitch. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Mark that stitch so that you know when you have stopped. Okay, hook under the front loop of the next stitch, front loop of the next stitch. Now you can see that I'm not actually moving the hook that much to be able to do that, because the last thing you want is big movements, because you will rip the yarn. Okay, so under the front loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, next one, under the front loop, under the next front loop. Okay, just take your time. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, under the front loop of the next one, front loop of the next one. Okay, now if you cannot get it under the front loop at this stage, it really isn't going to matter. Okay, try the best that you can. If you can't, just put it through the whole stitch. Yeah, yarn over, bring it out. So you've got 3 loops, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Okay, do the same again, front loop, front loop, yarn over, bring it out, pull through 2, pull through 2. As I said, this is where it gets really fiddly because it's getting smaller. Okay, right, we have the last 2 stitches to do. So yarn under, or sorry, hook under the front loop, under the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, just pulled out a wee bit so that you have a little bit more room. Take your stitch marker out so as you can see. And if you want to, at the end, add a little bit more stuffing in there, you can. If you actually use the end of your crochet hook, it will actually fit more than you think in there. Okay. Okay, give it a bit of roll between your fingers and squish. It's basically a sausage. Okay. Right, to close this gap up, we're not going to try to decrease anymore, because we're not going to get our hook in there. Okay, so we're going to sew it up. So what you do is cut your yarn. Now just give yourself a good bit of a tail and cut. Okay, and then where you have just pulled it out slightly, just pull on the working yarn and just pull it right out. Okay, it's not going to go anywhere, so don't worry. Okay, thread your tapestry needle. Okay, and the easiest way I find to do this is hold it in your hand, put it underneath the yarn, squeeze, so pinch it really hard, slide it off, put the tapestry needle on top, push and pull. Okay, right, you are going to work so you're going to work in and out of the stitches to close this hole. Okay, so underneath the first stitch and pull. Okay, in the next stitch and pull. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and then there's 6. Okay, going through all 6. Just give it a wee tiny tug and it'll close up. Okay, just give your bee another wee squish to make sure you're doing that. Now, if you decide that there isn't enough stuffing in there, you can actually just open that back up again, because I think I actually need a little bit more. So open it back up again, get your stuffing and push it in. So weave it in. You've weaved it all through all 6 stitches. Okay, you just go through a few more just to really tighten up that hole. Okay, so now it's gone. Right, to get rid of this, to get rid of this tail, because you do not want to cut it. Okay, weave it in through a few stitches and bring it out. Okay, keep turning your bee, keep doing that. You're trying to lose it in your work. Okay, just keep going, bring it out. Okay, and then what I like to do is tie a knot in the yarn close to the body. Take it back through the same stitch I've just come out of. Okay, bring it out somewhere in the body. Pull. Okay, pull it a wee bit tighter and just snip. Okay, and then just give your bee a little bit of a squeeze. You're never going to find that. Okay, so that's the main body of your bee finished. Next thing we're going to do is the wings. I really hope you've enjoyed doing your bee so far. The next bit we're going to do is the wings up here. Okay, but well done that your bee completely finished at this point.